we are live. We are back for our weekly, except for last week because we was both busy. But we are going to try to keep doing this weekly. The Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast Friday Night Fite App review, where we watch. Doesn't have to be necessarily a show, a wrestling show, but something on the Fite App to kind of give you an idea what's on there. And give you a reason to download it because it is a good app. And I'm sure we'll get into other stuff on the Fite App, not just professional wrestling, because, they have pro wrestling, they have MMA, they have other fighting on there. Like, there's so much stuff on there. I'm sure we'll kind of dive into a little bit of everything. But this week, DJ chose Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling, which it looks like a pretty good show. I definitely am interested in it, but I will let DJ take this one away. Take it away. Take it.
All right. I will take it. So let me just go through why I chose Rocky Mountain Pro. Like, because there is so much on the Fite App that sometimes it is hard to say let me pinpoint one particular show or one particular one particular company or whatever. I guess promotion more so. So I had heard about Rocky Mountain Pro because I listened to Vince Russo's podcast from time to time, and I heard him talking about it. I heard that he was like one of the writers or one of the producers or something like that. So I felt like I wanted to see what the show was all about because he said, if you're a wrestling fan, you should watch this show, which I feel like every person who produces a wrestling show probably says that. But I wanted to kind of see what it would be like if he kind of wrote an indie show because we've seen Vince Russo write mainstream shows. Some stuff has been good, some stuff hasn't. So I was interested to see how he would do an indie show, and it was also interesting because Rocky Mountain Pro, it started as NRW. I think I can't remember what it actually meant back then, but it started as NRW, and then they went to Rocky Mountain Pro, and then they went to being on TV on the Fite App, or I think they might be on TV in Colorado if I'm not mistaken, but they went to being on TV, which is pretty cool. And there's like a different dynamic from being just your local indie company to actually making, creating a production out of it and creating a production as far as making it to be an actual show. There's different nuances that you have to have anyway. So I guess we'll go because we watched 2 episodes, so we can we'll just talk about both of them. I'll talk about the first episode first, obviously. This episode was the kind of recap episode, of recapping, what Rocky Mountain Pro is all about. That's the only reason I know anything that I'm talking about right now. So that's why I wanted to watch this episode first. I felt like, if we were gonna, instead of jumping into the middle of an episode and hoping we kind of knew what it was gonna be about, there was already an intro episode, so I was like, I might as well watch this. I have a little bit extra time. It wouldn't hurt to watch it. So I decided to watch the first episode. It was pretty good. I think it gave, a good kind of background of the history and everything. I don't know if it went all the way through the history. I didn't feel like it went completely through the history, but I feel like it did do a good job of recapping up to now, kind of what's going on now, who the champions are now, who the spotlight stars are for now. And especially it kind of pointed a lot at the 4-point cartel, which I liked a lot. I like the 4-point cartel. They were pretty cool. And I like the little campy little segments within this first episode, like Vince Russo talking about how he went to he played high school football, played fullback and quarterback at the same time in Colorado when he's from New York. Some of the stuff was pretty funny. It was just kind of it was cheesy funny, but but I still thought it was kind of funny. Now, albeit I still like Vince Russo, so that's just me. But I don't know. I like the first episode, for what it was. I think it did what it was supposed to do. It was kind of an interesting way instead of just throwing stuff at you full throttle. At least you kind of got a little funny introduction to kind of what was going on. But Casey, thoughts on that first episode?
I liked it for what it was. I like they kind of talked about the difference between their promotion and other promotions. I like that they said the difference between our promotion and his other promotions is in Rocky Mountain Pro the matches happen in the ring. I like that they kind of pointed that out, that their matches happen in the ring. The pinfall is in the ring, which I kind of like. Kind of brings back, like they were saying, that kind of old school feel to the traditional wrestling or professional wrestling. I also like that they said that, and this is something that I know me and DJ have debated, not really argued about, but debated with other promotions, especially with WWE, because WWE seems to change their rules whenever they want to, for when it's convenient. But they said in Rocky Mountain Pro, titles can change or will change on disqualifications and countouts, which I kind of like, because it brings a new kind of dynamic to the whole show. We see it so many times in and WWE. We reference WWE a lot because that's the big main one. But we see so many times that the champion will intentionally get themselves disqualified or intentionally get themselves counted out, because then they know that they'll retain the title. Rocky Mountain Pro, that's not going to be necessarily what's going to happen. If you get disqualified, you could lose your title. If you get counted out, you could lose your title. I kind of like that. It brings something new to the table, I feel like. So that definitely got me, interested in this promotion. I don't know too much if I'm going to really like Vince Russo in this, just because I don't hate Vince Russo, but there are some, questionable, writing that he's done in the past, and he can kind of get on your nerves if you don't love him. Obviously DJ loves him, but I don't know. I'm definitely going to give it a shot and watch more, because I also like that they all of their kind of wrestlers are homegrown. It comes right from their wrestling academy, which is definitely a cool thing. A lot of, the majority of indie promotions, they have their wrestling schools, but the vast majority of guys that wrestle for their promotions, come from all over. But with Rocky Mountain Pro, it feels like most of the guys are, coming right from their wrestling academy, which is definitely a good thing, I think.
Yeah, I actually thought this next episode that we watched episode 3. I actually thought this was a pretty entertaining episode from like just an entertainment standpoint. I would say like I enjoyed it. Like I would watch it again. I would, but I might recommend it to somebody just to see what they thought about it. Like I felt, because we've said this before. Like Vince Russo has had some questionable calls writing wise, and I like how he kind of pointed those out, like in his in that first episode. Like he kind of trolled himself a little bit. I thought that was kind of funny. Because I don't feel like Vince Russo ever trolls himself. Like he I don't think he ever thinks that he has done anything wrong. But I like he kind of like trolled himself a little bit in that first episode. But to episode 3, like I felt like it was entertaining from just overall like it was kind of campy and it was kind of cheesy at times. But I think like that kind of made it unique, because a lot of wrestling companies, I feel like a lot of their stuff is just so serious that yes, you can still enjoy it, but I feel like you had to kind of enjoy this in a different way. The I really like the barn match fight thing, but I like, and I just noticed this. I like the consistency with it. There was no like true like pin or anything in this, so it wasn't really a match. It was just kind of a barn brawl or something. I like this. I love the Rolls Royce character. It's hilarious, especially when he starts like dressing up in those freaking like furry, like the furry coats and stuff like that. I always like that. I like his character a lot. But I also like what's the guy's name? Sugar Free something. I can't remember what the man's name is. Something about not having sugar though. I like how they kind of play Sugar Free Mario Van Jur. is what it is. I like how they kind of play off of his like sugar-free thing. I don't, I don't exactly know where that started, um, but I think it's funny. Like I like how they play off of it. I like the little like brawl they had where he poured like the whole bag of sugar on him. Um, and then I like him like destroying the Candyland stuff. I thought that was funny. Um, I don't know. I just like his character. It's a different character. It's kind of a weird character, but I like it. Um, I love Rolls Royce's edit it in post. That cracks me up every time, and I don't know if it's because I like to edit or if I'm like I just know a lot about post production. But that's just funny to have like somebody on a live TV show be like, Kelly, edit that in post. You got me. You know how it is. Like I just thought it was funny, like him messing up on stuff and then being like, just edit it. It'll be fine. Don't show that on TV as we're watching it on TV. I just think that like it was campy, but it was funny. Um, I love the trolling in this too. When who it was sugar free, he jumped off of the. It was just like like one of the stables to hold the horses or whatever. He jumped off of it. He was like, "This is a high risk maneuver." I was like, "Bruh, I'm done." um, we had the Cadence Gray, or not Cadence Gray, Cadence. I can't remember what his first name is, but we had that match. What was it?
It was Warren Cadence versus Hunter Gray.
Yeah, I like Warren Cadence. His character is different. Um, like I sent Casey a snap. I was like Patrick Clark. I like his character. It's a kind of a different character, but I like, and this is kind of what we talked about with NXT. Like I like that he basically like he had like he talked some, and like I think that developed the character just that little bit of him talking and talking about being fabulous or whatever, like that stuff just develops a character, and I like that a lot. The Marty Foxy Bell brawl that she had, I like this. I just felt like it, and I don't know how you felt about this, and I guess I'll hear your thoughts when you give them, but I felt like it at first, like before the brawl actually started, it kind of felt like it was like, typical Vince Russo and women, right? Like Vince Russo has a reputation of like sexualizing women as far as like, especially in wrestling, and kind of like, it's not about what you can do in the ring, but it's more about, being attractive and getting those casual male fans in, which I understand what he is going for there. But I think as kind of like a hardcore wrestling fan who enjoys women's wrestling, it's kind of hard to get behind sometimes. But I like the little brawl that they had. There was some like stiff shots in it. I felt like, which was nice to see. I like the I think it was the Gorillas. I think it was who it was. The Left Coast Gorillas. They were in the in the scene, like they were just everywhere. I thought that was cool. Um, and then the main event. I I just didn't get the finish, and it's just a questionable thing as far as the DQ finish, especially in the number one contenders match. I never understand why you get yourself intentionally disqualified in a number one contenders match, especially especially since we knew they won the titles. Even from this one episode, we knew that the 4 Point Cartel, they were trying to get all the titles, but I don't know. But I like the only thing I did the one thing I didn't like too was the different types of mics thing, like, and that's just a me. I don't know, like I don't know if everybody would get bothered by that, but like you can obviously tell that they weren't both set up the same way. Like one felt like he was like in another room, the other felt like he was like like a normal microphone. That's kind of a thing that gets me a lot too, especially when you're on TV, like picture microphone. But anyway, Casey, I didn't mean to give that many thoughts, but anyway, Casey, thoughts on the episode?
I told this man this show was supposed to be a brief, what
The only reason I even gave that many thoughts was because I had notes and I was like, I might as well use them. I didn't even use all of them.
This man. Yeah, I definitely, liked it. It got me intrigued about, the show. I just felt like in the beginning there was too many like opening video segments and or video packages and segments and stuff, and I was like, I get it. You want to kind of you know give us an idea on on these characters and these tag teams and factions and things like that. But I want to I at the end of the day I need to see more wrestling on your show to see if I even like it. Because if I don't like the wrestling, then you can have the greatest characters in the world. I'm not going to be into the show. So the beginning, I was kind of like, okay, another. It just felt like it dragged on. I like the matches that they had. Cody Devine versus Curtis Cole for
Did you think Cody Devine was gonna be just a big jobber, and he wasn't? Like I was so shocked to watch him.
Yeah. That was for the Rocky Mountain Charged Pro or Charged Championship, which is just a long name. And stop it with the long title name. Stop it. Hunter Gray versus Warren Cadence. I definitely like that match. I like the Warren Cadence character. And I've seen a bunch of different characters like that, especially in the indies. And there's one, and a couple local indie promotions that I know of that have kind of. It's hard to say. I don't want to say a gay character, but flamboyant, I guess you could say. Not necessarily something that, and it's something that I feel like an indie promotion can get away with and do well, whereas like WWE would just butcher it, and like even to an extent TNA, I don't know if they would know what to do with a character like that.
Well, they did have Aaron Rex. So
yeah, he wasn't necessarily gay. He just liked to wear makeup, and
he was flamboyant though.
Yeah, he was. I didn't like the Marty Bell segment. I was definitely excited to see Marty Bell. I just didn't. First, I didn't like that her name at least in Rocky Mountain Pro is Marty Foxy Bell. Like, why you gotta have the Foxy in there? It feels weird to me to have just random Foxy in there. I'm like, no. Marty Bell is just fine. Stop it. Stop adding unnecessary names. Also, it kind of like DJ said, it felt like the typical Russo women's wrestling segment, which kind of sucks because, like DJ said again, we for the hardcore wrestling fan who wants to see good women's wrestling, it just there were good stiff shots in this. It felt like, but it's still kind of, if you really got into it, it still felt like the typical kind of cat fight in a way, which I don't necessarily like, especially with somebody like Marty Bell that we know, can do legitimate, good, professional wrestling. So that I kind of didn't like. And the tag team match was definitely good. Definitely like the Left Coast Gorillas. Definitely want to kind of see where they go, and what they do in Rocky Mountain Pro. And I kind of want to just see more of the wrestlers that they have, to see kind of what they bring to the table. But definitely, it was a good show. There, like I said, there was a couple things I didn't like about it, but didn't push me away from it or anything. I'll definitely kind of want to check out some more of it as it goes on.
Another one of those campy moments that I noticed was the was the "Where's your bandana?" there before the main event. I thought that was funny. Yeah, overall, I thought the show was pretty good. And just to kind of disagree with you a little bit, I kind of liked it that there was more kind of segments in this show. I don't know why, I just did. I just felt like it was. I don't know how to explain like why I liked that there weren't as many matches. I feel like I think it just made this show feel different. Maybe that's what it is, because like I'm so used to a Ring of Honor or NXT where it's like match, 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 match. Maybe an interview here, maybe an interview there. So maybe that's what it was. It was just something that was different in a 1 hour format.
Well, I don't necessarily think there were too many segments in general in the show. It just felt like they were all at once to me. Like it felt like segment. Okay, now we'll have a match. Like if they spread them out a little bit, I think I would have liked it a little bit better.
Another thing that was funny too was when he was driving the what was it? It wasn't a golf cart, but something like that. And then like they were going through the whole little slow motion thing, and then they'd randomly like just pan to like normal. Like I thought that was hilarious. That had me cracking up. I can't remember. They've done that before. Like somebody's done that before. Not in wrestling. I think it was like in a movie or something. I think they do it in like comedy movies or something like that. But that was hilarious, especially like in troll movies. Like especially like movies where like those movies that are like trolls of Batman or parodies of Batman or parodies of stuff. Yeah, it's like that. But I thought that was funny too. That cracked me up. But I mean, I'm definitely interested to watch some more. I'm always interested to watch something on the Fight App just because there's so much. Um, so I'm kind of curious to see what we're gonna watch next week. Do you have any ideas?
Oh, it's gonna be something fight related.
I would assume it's gonna be something wrestling related. Just a thought.
It might be. It could possibly be something wrestling related. But then again, there is so much on the Fight app that it might not be professional wrestling related.
Know what? I'll tell you though. You know what I think we should watch? I think we should watch these Impact in case you missed it videos. I feel like we don't watch enough Impact on the channel. I don't.
I feel like we do. I think I'm good with that. I mean, but they got boxing, they got grappling, which is wrestling.
They had that weird women's wrestling thing on there.
They have MMA. They have striking arts. I don't even know what that is. What is striking arts? I have to check this out. Just like karate and kickboxing, and I'll kick you in the face, and taekwondo and do kwon ho.
I love how Marty Bell rolled up on her in the bathroom though.
But there's a lot of stuff on there. I mean, they even have WCPW on there, which is kind of cool. Obviously, we probably won't review that because a lot of people know WCPW. But we'll definitely find something else on there for next week to let you know about. But as usual, go download the Fight app. Go find out yourself. You don't have to have us tell you what to watch, even though we're going to tell you. You go listen and you go watch it, because our recommendations are always good. Always. Most of the time. Sometimes. But then also, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter at ICW _podcast. There's an underscore there. It's the little line that's under, but it's like between, but it's under. So it's a score for the under. Yeah. And we will be back. We have NBA picks again.
Yeah, we'll probably do those next week because I don't think it actually starts until next Thursday, so we got some time.
I think it's like June first, something. I don't know, something like that. But we'll get that out. Do we have anything else that we have to do this weekend?
Weekend,
because you like to abandon the show.
We're not doing anything anyway, so.
Yeah, well, I'm We gonna be.
I forgot to express my love for the Humphrey guy. I loved him too. He was like my favorite. But if I had to pick a favorite, he was probably it. Besides Rolls Royce, Humphrey Jacobs, the first. And I like that he was the first. I was like, bro, this man the greatest right now.
Yeah, I think he was my favorite too. Just because he was the first. I was like, yes. We will be back next week for another. I don't know what word to describe this show, but it's amazing. Another instantly classic episode of the Friday Night Fite App review. Yeah, bye and stuff, and bye.